Orville Redenbacher became a popcorn. Let's check it out.
Orville
The famous popcorn brand, world famous, really. Orville Redenbacher.
Redenbacher was sent to Earth with only
Just saying his name, like it was all over the commercials.
one mission.
Yeah, everybody knew about Orville Redenbacher's fantastic popcorn.
To pop the world's most perfect popcorn. Though many had tried before him, no one else had the passion or the scientific know-how to make it happen. And when Redenbacher set out into the 20th century to change the
it takes very long to get passionately, like, it just takes a lifetime to dedicate to the brand.
Popcorn landscape forever, the world would never be the same. So, today, we're popping up the history of Orville Redenbacher.
I don't know much about him, so...
But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. And let us know in the comments below what other staple snack foods you would like to hear about. All right, you want an extra large bucket for just a quarter more?
I need a
The people of the Americas have been eating unique varieties of popcorn.
Movie theater popcorn. They just make like they add the super good butter on there. I don't know how it's made.
For thousands of years.
But yeah. If there's a place that could deliver some of the popcorn from that spot, that'd be amazing.
With the oldest known ears of cultivated popcorn dating back to 4,700 BC. Peru.
It looks like some Simpsons animation.
Entire
Oh, it's popping out at me.
Cobs would be popped a variety of ways.
Oh, it's cold here.
Sometimes by placing them directly on hot coals, sometimes by roasting them over open flames.
Yeah, back when I was a kid, I didn't know, yo. I didn't know how it worked. So just, you got the seed, it heats up, and then just becomes a new popcorn.
Sometimes by
like just edible, like randomly.
By placing them.
Can popcorn kernels like pop if in your stomach? I hope not. That might be painful, right? I don't think so.
Earthen ovens. Different cultures likewise had different relationships with popcorn, some more spiritual than others. For instance, some Native American tribal folklore regarded the sound of kernels popping as a sign that the spirits within the corn were becoming angry. Meanwhile, the Aztecs used popped kernels for ceremonial blade.
Whoa, is that a mask? This artwork kind of scares me.
Themselves with popcorn garlands, just like elementary school students would do hundreds of years later. Still, it's commonly
popcorn necklace, alright?
Believed that popcorn was only ever eaten by ancient peoples as either a delicacy or as a small dietary supplement.
I used to always eat popcorn on stream and stuff, and then one day I chipped my tooth on stream, so I do not eat on stream no more, really.
Never as a
it hurts, bro.
Staple part of their diets. Or as your mom might say, that's snack food, not food. While rumors that the Pilgrims ate popcorn at the first Thanksgiving seem to be unfounded, Europeans were likely introduced to the treat early into
it's just a bucket and some popcorn kernels and fire.
Their exploration of the North American continent, especially as French trappers formed relationships with the Iroquois in the Great Lakes region. Reportedly, the Iroquois would pop their popcorn kernels in sand-filled pottery jars, and the European settlers in both Quebec and what would become the Northeast.
There's something good about like the salt, like it's like a kind of a sea salt kind of taste. You know how like you pour salt on the popcorn thing and then like it just goes towards the bottom. That's how and then it mixes with the butter. So what I would do is grab a popcorn and dip it in that like salty buttery mixture, and it was good. It was good.
Eastern United States quickly took to the practice too. Still, due to the variations between popcorn strains caused by adaptations to various environments, different regions had different strains of popcorn, and not all strains were created.
Jeez, look at these. I don't get some corn on the cob like that, yo. What? That's some genetic engineering if I've ever seen it.
created equal. So if your first handful of popcorn was from a dusty old cornstalk, you might assume it all tastes like that and never touch the stuff again. Furthermore, popping popcorn remained cumbersome. They didn't have microwaves yet, so it was a lot of work for a little return. As a result, it seems
Yeah.
that not even these early European settlers ate much of it. But luckily for us all, this latter issue would be resolved in the late 19th
Candy popcorn kernels are amazing though.
century, as a certain candy store owner came steamrolling into the picture.
Uh-oh, here's Orville. Here's
In
Orville.
1885,
Is he gonna like invent the microwavable like popcorn packet? That's what I'm thinking.
Ohio-born, Chicago-based Charles Creeders invented the world's first ever commercial popcorn machine. This popcorn machine utilized a small steam engine to pop
Jeez.
popcorn kernels in oil, and
Dude,
it marked the first time
That'd be so cool to have.
ever that seasoning could be evenly distributed
Oh
over an
gosh, that's a lot of seasoning though.
entire batch of popcorn. What's more, it doubled as a nut roaster. Creeder's invention swept the nation, and it soon found its home at carnivals, on street corners, and in theaters everywhere, exploding ever more into the
Yeah, very easy to grow that, I think, right?
mainstream with Creeder's later invention of the horse-drawn popcorn wagon. While it may have seemed then
That was food trucks back in the day. Man, it'd be so cool to see that nowadays.
that
We
popcorn
only have illustration.
was at the top of its game, it was only getting started. When the Great Depression hit, popcorn's popularity grew to heights previously unimagined. Since a bag of popcorn at the time cost only 5 to 10 cents, it became a staple treat for cash-strapped Americans, especially as movie theaters proliferated across the country. Even then, popcorn wasn't done popping off. With the onset of World War II and the immediate sugar rationing that came with it, America's consumption of popcorn increased
Kind of going through a sugar ration right now with shrinkflation.
threefold from its Depression-era highs. For a few raucous years, popcorn was
Raucous? What does raucous means? I assume it's like ruckus, right?
everywhere, and everyone was eating it all the time. But then,
Me
the
too.
war ended. The good times
Yo,
were back.
those are so cool. What? Hold on.
Then, the
Aren't those so cool? Wait, did popcorn come in a box like that? No, it didn't.
war ended. The good times were back. People had money again, and sugar made its triumphant return to the home front. What's more, the rise of the television saw the decline of movie theater attendance, and the entire popcorn industry took it on the chin. Thus, in a tragic betrayal,
It was in the boxes. Yeah, that's super cool.
Americans turned their collective back
Somebody should open a popcorn shop where there's like different kinds of butter, there's different spices. You can get like your own little bowl. Maybe, you know what I mean? Kind of like the yogurt shops.
on popcorn, leaving it to go the way of ambrosia salad.
Ambrosia salad, never heard of
On
it.
July 16th of 1907, Orville Redenbacher was born unto the world. He grew up
Where Lil Wayne sung Orville Redenbacher, he said it stuck with me so much. It stuck with me so much. That's how he was already giga popular then, but now that made him more.
on a small corn farm in Brazil, Indiana, and likewise from an early age formed an obsession with the art of popcorn making, even selling his own. Hey, some kids are into baseball cards, some are into popcorn.
Some are into making bank.
He managed to put this obsession to rest, but he knew full well that he couldn't stay away from it for long. Orville went on to graduate near the top of his high school class, allowing him to pursue a degree in agronomy at
Jeez.
Purdue University.
I was not that star student, bro. I did try though a little bit here and there at school, but I just tried to graduate.
Orville's only problem?
my dedication was RuneScape back then.
He had no money for tuition. So, according to legend, Orville decided to skip the traditional summer job routine and to instead sell bags of popcorn all across the Indiana countryside from the back of his car. He apparently managed to hawk enough popcorn to pay for his time at Purdue. And it was a pretty swell time for old Orville. He ran for Purdue's track team. He played the sousaphone for Purdue's All-American marching
Yeah, yo. Like Jake Paul.
band.
Might be Jake Paul's dad with how many different career paths.
And he enjoyed all the benefits that life with the Alpha Gamma Rho fraternity had to offer. Really? A sousaphone? It's like this guy was trying to be a Trivial Pursuit question. You should have seen him peg stand an entire barrel of melted butter. Upon graduating in
Butter, by the way.
1928, Orville got a job with Vigo County, working for a time as Farm Bureau Extension Agent, responsible for educating rural farms in emerging agricultural sciences. It was
All right. Yeah, a lot of farmland
during this time that Orville first
in America. A lot of space is just space, like uninhabited area.
developed a taste for fame. He became the first county agent to do his own educational radio broadcast, eventually leading him to pursue graduate work in radio communications at both Purdue and Colorado State. But Orville had greater ambitions than life as a bureaucrat had to offer.
He's going the business route. The business route. He could have been the president. He was like, nah, I'm gonna be a business.
No stuffed shirt desk jockey ever went on to change the world of pop.
One time I got lost in a cornfield, bro, on a field trip. It was pretty scary. First time ever getting lost.
Corn. So he started up his own fertilizer business on the side. This business eventually became so successful that Orville put the bureaucracy behind him and instead grew himself mountains of cash. In fact, it was just enough cash to let
It looked like someone's teeth, bro.
his old obsession come popping back into
Our popcorn kernels are very similar to teeth, right?
view. Orville Redenbacher's personal motto was, do one thing and do it better than anyone.
That's also I agree with that.
Tragically, many later entrepreneurs would take the exact opposite approach. Although he'd found success with fertilizer and with working for the government, that one thing continued to be popcorn. As popcorn fell out of public favor in the post-war years, it was only gaining momentum within Orville's daily life. Though he had started selling his own popcorn again in 1944, it wasn't until 1951 that he and his business partner, fellow Purdue alumnus
The kernels, they pop in a certain way, kind of like how McDonald's nuggets do. They just have like the certain shape that they adhere to.
Charles F. Bowman, bought up Chester's & Sons, an existing seed corn plant. There he began to experiment in the development of the perfect strain of popcorn. Ideally, one that won't catch on fire if you misjudge the cook time by 3 seconds. He would take existing strains of popcorn and crossbreed them, hoping to create the fluffiest, lightest popcorn ever to exist. And after supposedly
I like fluffy and light popcorn. I don't know.
creating
It's a science, yo, because you look at the bowl, you want to eat the piece right there, but the piece over there looks good.
over 10,000 new strains of popcorn, Orville finally found just the one he'd been looking for. He and Charles named the strain Red Bow, a combination
Oh, that's so cool. Wait, is
of their
that
names.
that's a thing now? It is.
Redenbacher and Bowman.
Yo.
Orville's newfound strain
You can buy it in a nice like custom. See that's a proper. I know my stuff's gonna be like lasting long in a jar, doesn't it? I don't know.
boasted a 44-to-1 ratio of popped to unpopped kernels. With Red Bow in hand, they knew they had something special,
Yeah, that's definitely not the original Orville.
so they decided to take it to market. Initially, they planned to simply sell Red Bow popcorn under that name, because it's pretty good. You could picture that on a box. But after paying $13,000 to a Chicago-based advertising agency, they were advised to change their strategy. The ad people thought that the popcorn would
Man.
sell better if they ditched the Red Bow name and attached Orville's own name and face to the product instead. They
Orville.
presumably made the suggestion while
So just one of those businesses where it's a first and last name. I don't know if I should make my business like that or not. I'm undecided.
Charles Bowman was still in the room, which is savage. Orville felt as though they had just thrown away $13,000. Later writing, I drove back to Indiana Riley thinking we had paid $13,000
Riley.
for
I don't know. What does that word mean?
someone to
You
come
can kind of.
up with the same name my mother had come up with when I was born. But the partners ultimately decided to go with the agency's suggestion, and in 1970, Orville Redenbacher's gourmet popping corn finally launched.
Popping off.
Though Orville's name would be attached to their new popcorn product, Charles would head the company for the 4 decades that followed. All the while, Orville would remain the company's head of scientific research. Still, with a personality like Orville's, the popcorn's namesake couldn't be kept in the lab all his life. If your product is headed up by a folksy old man, it is your responsibility to put that folksy old man on television. Orville made his first
Yes. He went nationwide. He went worldwide. Not even nationwide.
TV appearance in
Wait,
1973.
he's been on TV that long? Oh my gosh, bro. 30 plus years, I think.
He went on the show to tell the truth, and the show's judges went head over heels for his popcorn right on national television. More importantly, though, audiences everywhere took to Orville like popcorn to salt, and Orville's company was quick to capitalize on their lead scientist's sudden stardom. Soon after, they began to broadcast Orville's quaint and humble persona all over American airwaves. He'd always wear his trademark horn-rimmed glasses and bow tie.
Yeah, so that's how he's known, right?
Sometimes with one of his many grandkids, a boy named Gary Redenbacher, at his side.
Oh snap, he has a legacy, fam. I want to see some Gary Redenbacher commercials.
He looked more like a caricature of an old man than actual caricatures of old men. Reportedly, audiences found Orville to be so charming that many assumed he was an actor. Many even wrote to the company to ask if it was all for show, or if Orville
Business and acting, they go hand in hand.
was the real deal. To clear things up, the company then arranged for Orville to appear on multiple televised talk shows, just so he could explain his passion for popcorn to Americans everywhere. It was a huge success, and Orville's passion made America fall back in love with a crunchy snack they'd once adored. With Orville Redenbacher quickly becoming a household name, his namesake popcorn grew by the mid-1970s to capture about a third of the unpopped popcorn market. And in 1976, the company was bought by Hunt Wesson, only to then trade hands a handful of times over the decade and a half that followed, eventually ending up under the control of Conagra Brands.
Never heard of them. Looks like a with the name Brands. Definitely seems like a conglomerate.
Those ad people were right. Orville Redenbacher still sounds better. Orville continued to star in commercials well into the 1980s, and in 1988, Orville's alma mater, Purdue, granted him an honorary doctorate for his contributions to the popcorn industry. Sadly, in 1995, Orville suffered a heart attack at the age of 88, causing him to drown in the jacuzzi of his California
Oh man.
condo. You have to admit, though, that is an impressive
Dude, I swear he was on the television. I swear he was on seeing commercials. He passed away a few years after I was born, but nah.
baller
What?
tragedy. His ashes
I swear I saw him on the commercials all the time. Maybe not.
were scattered
Maybe my parents did and just told me.
at sea. Shortly thereafter, famed movie critic Roger Ebert eulogized Orville, praising the seriousness with which he took the popcorn trade. Ebert's co-host, Gene Siskel, attributed popcorn's revival to Orville's ingenuity. Both acknowledged that Orville's influence forever changed the way we experience movies, with our cheeks full of buttery kernels. Almost 2 decades later, the city of Valparaiso, Indiana, where Orville did much of his popcorn
Sorry guys, I'm just coughing up mucus.
experimentation, unveiled a life-sized statue of Orville in
Oh
2012
snap, yo.
to further
That has to cost a good amount.
commemorate his achievements. And in the years
Doesn't
since,
look freshly made though.
Orville's namesake
Might
popcorn
be part of the design.
has continued to prosper. Today, it is the most popular single brand of American popcorn available, with Pop Secret in Act 2 duking it out for
Act 2 is pretty good.
a distant second
Act 2 made like a blue popcorn and it was amazing, but I never found them again.
place. They still sell the classic popping kernels and Orville Redenbacher branded oils,
The oil is very good.
along with many flavors of microwavable popcorn, a type of popcorn Orville distrusted throughout his entire life. Hey,
For real?
we get it. He was an old school popper. Today,
Yeah.
their microwavable popcorn lineup includes butter, ultimate butter, and movie theater butter, along with their more health-conscious
That's it. So not just keep it simple.
Smart Pop and Naturals lineup.
Oh yeah, I remember Smart Pop.
They also now sell Skinny Girl popcorn,
Oh, that's a Orville. Oh, I knew they'd do it. We got some popcorn seasonings, guys. I would try buffalo. I would try each and every one.
along with a whole array of popcorn-related seasonings, including flavors like white cheddar, nacho cheese, and ranch, along with the less conventional Buffalo Wild Wings buffalo sauce
Yeah, I'm interested in trying these.
and Cinnabon flavors. And Orville's cheerful, folksy face still graces nearly every Orville Redenbacher product to this day. Just don't let him see you use the microwave. So what do you think? Butter, kettle, caramel, or cheddar popcorn?
Cheddar all day. Thank you for watching, fam. Like, comments. Cheddar all day. Thank you for watching, fam. Check out Weird History Food in the description, and I'll see you next one. Appreciate the support.